following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you're listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, GoodPod HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking nothing but esports and Call of Duty League information. So without any further delay, let's go get straight into today's action. Alright guys, so as always, we start off with the news. So coming in at number one right here, ladies and gentlemen, FaZe Clan has been served a deficiency notice from the Nasdaq Stock Exchange as their share price remains below $1. They have 180 days to turn it around or FaZe stock will be delisted. This is all come from Dextero on Twitter at Dextero, again on Twitter. And they are also reporting that FaZe is exploring options to take the company back private. This is honestly the right move to go back private. At the time, it seemed like it was the right move to make FaZe Clan a publicly traded company. But with all the drama that's been going on here lately, since then, and just really the share price going down each and every single day, not too many people know about FaZe being listed on Nasdaq. And it's just, I don't know, I don't think now looking back at that time, it was the right move because again, not too many people, are in the stock exchange. Not too many people know about FaZe, don't believe the company is more profitable than, let's just say, like an Apple or whatever. And that's why the stock is failing. It's just not too many people know about it, and we're just not a part of that generation just quite yet that where esports and content creation companies like FaZe Clan can do this. Maybe within the next 10 years, when the new age kind of, groups of like the up and rising like teenagers and very young adults come by, yes, FaZe Clan then could possibly go public again. But for right now, you still got kind of your firm believers of like the old style stock market, S&P 500s and stuff like that, and not really investing in content creation as much as, like big time companies. So again, FaZe Clan has got 180 days to turn things around and be above that $1 mark, or they will be delisted from the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. Switching on over to the Call of Duty League side of the news right here, ladies and gentlemen, the London Royal Ravens have signed Ulyss, or on Twitter at U1Isses, if I'm pronouncing that right. He will start alongside Asim, Scraps, and Nasty, start in the Major 4 qualifiers. Also in the news, ladies and gentlemen, Standy has been signed with the Las Vegas Legion, and he will replace 2Real in the starting lineup. So it will be TJ, Clayster, Temp, and Standy for the Las Vegas Legion. Honestly, this was the right move going forward. It should never really took a team this long to have signed Standy with his incredible IQ of the game. And he's one of the best trash talkers. He's one of the best players in the game right now. And like I said, it just shocks me that it took this long as of March 23rd. And I mean, yeah, I know that was just a couple of days, but he was released a week or two prior before that news broke. So again, it's just astonishing to think that a player like Standy went this long without a team. But the Las Vegas Legion is definitely happy that they've picked Standy up, and they might even win a major now. Who knows? Not gonna say COD champs, but I will say at least compete for a major championship for this Major 4 tournament. So that was all the topic of today. Well, news, I should say, for the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. And we're moving in on to the main topic of today's episode. And that's just simply talking about week 1 of the Major 3 Major 4 qualifying. So really looking at this bracket right here, it's also going to be probably a simple day for a lot of these teams. Friday, March 31st, the Boston Breach versus the Vegas Legion. So Standy will be headlining in this one right here. Honestly, I'm looking at the Legion in a 3-2 over Boston. Boston has just not been that great of a team. Now, granted, yes, they did make it, I believe, to elimination round 3 or 4 at the last major tournament. So that was a good turnaround. But still, they still got their inconsistencies in search and destroy and control. Hardpoint, I'm not so much worried about with Boston, but them two of control and S&D, that's where Vegas is honestly going to make you suffer. And having Standy now a part of this rotation, he's just going to be a beast. And I believe, again, this is also going to come down at least to a 3-1 victory for the Legion in Standy's debut for the Legion. The Los Angeles Thieves taking on the London Royal Ravens. Yuli, as always, is going to be making his debut against the Thieves. Still, I'm taking the Thieves in this one. Thieves are just that. They're just a different team. Really a different team. They could compete with the Atlanta FaZes, the Optic Texas, Subliners, Toronto Ultras, you name it. So next up is the Atlanta FaZe taking on the New York Subliners in your main event for Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. Guys, with Atlanta FaZe right here, I'm worried about them because they had the momentum going into I believe it was the Major 2, winning the entire tournament. And then now you're looking at FaZe like, what in the world are y'all doing? Because their gameplay style is just way out of whack. And I don't understand it. You know, your hard points were doing tremendously well at that one point in time. Then it fell off. Your S&D, you lost your S&D now to Toronto Ultra. Your controls, you have your good moments and you really have a lot more bad moments. And I'm trying to just sit here and wrap my head around the fact that the Atlanta FaZe just might not have it this year to really compete. And if they were to even slightly compete for COD champs, I believe they would get at least eliminated in the elimination finals at COD champs, and not even Sniff, nowhere near that trophy. But so they are going up against New York Subliners. I'm gonna take FaZe, obviously, because I am the FaZe fan. But in a 3-2, I think the last time we went up against the New York Subliners, it was a 3-2. Saturday, April 1st, Minnesota Rocker taking on the Florida Mutineers. No one's really worried about this matchup, except for some Rocker fans hoping to finally get a W on the board. Florida Mutineers, they're the mid-tier, more towards like a bottom-tier team right now. They're inconsistent, and you don't need that in a team. Second match for Saturday, April 1st is the Boston Breach taking on the Toronto Ultra. So the Toronto Ultra is coming hot off of their victory over Optic Texas at the last major and becoming the Major 3 champions. And guys, let me tell you, I think the Toronto Ultra is legit. I think this is going to be a 3-1 victory over Boston. The Toronto Ultra is going to say, hey, look, we're still high and, come at us. The Los Angeles Guerrillas taking on the Minnesota Rocker. Guys, I believe this is where the Rocker will honestly get their very first W over LAG. And, well, not like over LAG, but just their first win in a very long time now. And the Los Angeles Guerrillas, they're just going to be a mediocre team. Alex is the only one, or Arcidius, I should say, is the only one really keeping this team afloat in some situations. and that's not great whenever one player has to do it all. For your main event on Saturday, April 1st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Los Angeles Thieves take it on the Seattle Surge. Octane's very last team that he played for, the Surge. Guys, this is honestly going to be a back and forth battle. Both Seattle and LA Thieves are just tremendous teams that can make you suffer if you make the wrong moves. But I'm just going to have to go in favor of LA Thieves right here over Surge, but in a 3-2 victory. Every one of these maps are going to be close. And I think you're going to go into at least around 10 in your game 5 for Search and Destroy. Now, of course, none of the map pools are, set just yet. That's just practically like a day of kind of thing when your maps are set. To kick things off on Sunday, April 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Toronto Ultra is taking on the Seattle Surge. I believe the Toronto Ultra is honestly going to have their hands full with the Surge. It's going to be a 3-2 victory for the Ultra, but the Surge is just going to be one of those teams, I believe, during this major where they're going to look good at moments and then they're going to just ultimately fail at the end and let things go. Second match for Sunday, April 2nd, the London Royal Ravens taking on the Optic Texas squad. This is a no-brainer. I believe Optic Texas is definitely going to win this one, at least in a 3-1 fashion. I think the Ravens can get them in probably their Search and Destroy because Optic has honestly never been an S&D team. It's always been a Respawn team, and ultimately, Respawn teams do better at win percentages than S&D team, but that is just a slight margin above, but not too much. And then finally, Sunday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in the main event, ladies and gentlemen, the Florida Mutineers taking on the Atlanta FaZe. Oh boy, this is honestly going to be a FaZe's favor right here in a 3-1 fashion. I do believe, again, Florida Mutineers is just an inconsistent team. They really don't bring pressure in. Now, I'm going to sit here and say, I'll be the first one in the classroom to raise my hand, but Atlanta FaZe does not bring pressure and hard points and in control. For some odd reason, whenever I'm sitting here watching their matches, talking about Atlanta FaZe here, guys, it's so nerve-wracking to sit here and think there's no one near your hill. You are literally just 2 steps away from being in the hill capturing points, but you're not sitting there capturing the points whenever you're in hard point. And that just drives me insane. It really does, because why in the world are you standing there? Your backup is, killing off the other players while you should be scoring points. Don't stand there near the point, wait for your teammates to arrive. Go ahead and get on the gosh dang point. That's all it takes. You gotta be aggressive. You cannot always rely on your backup from the teammates to really get you out of sticky situations. You're just gonna have to go in it, capture a few points. It don't matter if it's 5 seconds. At least you are aggressive and is willing to contest the point. Don't sit back and wait for teammates to show up. That's just the wrong move. And Atlanta FaZe has a bad habit of doing that, especially here in Modern Warfare 2. But it's still going to be a 3-1. I think they're going to lose the very first opening hardpoint and then go on to a major rampage for S&D control and then the second hardpoint matchup. So guys, what series are you looking forward to this weekend? Are you looking forward to the Las Vegas Legion taking on the Boston Breach and Standy's, debut? Or what other match is it? I want to know on Twitter, guys. You can follow me there at MMS Stacy Morgan. And of course, everything will be down in the description below for you guys to check that out. And yeah. But guys, I sure hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button wherever you are listening from. Make sure you are catching me on Spotify, YouTube Podcasts. It is a new feature on YouTube. It is a great discovery for brand new podcasters or existing podcasters like myself who wants to get noticed out there in the podcasting world. And it's definitely been helping this podcast out a lot, and I have you guys to thank for as well. But until then, guys, Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.